There's a question about, in Buddhist terms, what's going on when we procrastinate, postpone doing what one should be doing. So, in general, it's when we are not clear. We haven't aligned ourselves wholeheartedly with what we're doing. So we may be telling ourselves to do something that we're not really behind. But often that's because there's some fear involved. It's kind of, I'm afraid of doing anything else, but I don't really want to do this. So I'm kind of doing it half-heartedly. But the more important question is, why do we procrastinate when it comes to Dharma practice? It is the need to really get behind it, and that's where your heart is, which means that somehow you're clear about what Dharma is and what it is that you want to be doing about it, rather than kind of a rather muddled, murky sense of, oh, I should be doing something, but I don't know if I want to do it now, and you just put it off. But so in Buddhism, you say, the question is, in Buddhist terms, what is it? It's the renunciation hasn't truly arisen in one, and one even prays for that to happen, because if genuine renunciation hasn't arisen, this will carry on indefinitely. We will never really get round to really aligning with the Dharma. Renunciation, it sounds a bit kind of formal, but it's a change of heart, really. It's realising that we don't have any good options, really, other than Dharma. All our other options are temporary fixes in a dangerous situation. Samsara is terrible. We tend to look at our world and think, well, there's lots of it that's fixable. Yeah, I mean, we could do a lot of things a lot better than we are doing as a whole. But it's not fixable. We could spend our whole life trying to fix things. It's not going to be fixed. It's not going to all be all right. It's all going to end in tears for each one of us individually. Unless we can align ourselves truly with the Dharma. Then it doesn't have to end in tears. That's the good news. But it's because we don't really realise how. Well, it's not so much. Well, it is that we don't realise, but we also have this tremendous capacity to fool ourselves. We don't see what we don't want to see. And people put a lot of energy into that. They live in a very dangerous place, but they don't want to move, or so somehow you convince yourself it isn't that dangerous. Happens all the time, doesn't it? But it is. We're in a very dangerous situation. Everything we're holding on to is going to be ripped away from us. We're going to part without it. You might think, oh well, maybe that's the end. There's no grounds for thinking that it would be the end. Your experience, what do you know about your experience? How do you know? anything. So just adopting the view, well, maybe somehow there'll be nothing. Well, pigs might fly, I mean. It's not a very intelligent response, is it? You've got to find out what you are, and then you can work out what your choices are. That's what the Dharma is. It's just the truth. There's nothing more than that. Maybe part of us is afraid that it's going to change us. We're going to have to change. And then, because we haven't really haven't really thought about it deeply enough, we sort of think, oh, I'll think about that later. Procrastinate. But that's the main purpose of a teacher, really, because the tendency to procrastinate and to slide off the point is so strong that even though you've all got that same knowledge within you, you don't really need a teacher. It's all there in you. But are you going to get it? Is it going to dawn on you? Are you even going to go to the trouble to listen to what the teacher says and try and understand it? Well, the Buddha said, well, he used the image, I don't know exactly what words he said, but he used the image of somebody standing at a crossroad who can see where all the different paths lead. And he can see the people coming along. And he can see this one's leading to some terrible place. This is leading to another terrible place. This is leading to where you want to get to. So he can stand there and he can say, not that way, this way. And if people ignore him, well, what can he do more?